somebody doesn't like your intuition. We have Earth Star Chakra, in, Initiation, and Luminescence. And this is from the Beyond Lemuria deck. And I wanted to look a little bit more into this Aquarian energy that seems to be following this theme of trying to be suppressed. And I'm kind of curious as to why, and maybe why someone finds you strange. And because that's kind of what people do when they don't understand something, when something's unknown to them, rather than just getting curious or leaving well enough alone, they'll try to suppress, oppress. Um, and these show the intuition quite well with the dark blue and then the eye, and then right in the middle of her forehead, it's got that like glowing space. But I had mentioned, I think it was in the last reading, one of the last two, we're talking about divination abuse. And if someone is abusing divination and looking into you when they shouldn't be, that implies permission that you're able to look back. And it's not, they don't get to back out because they didn't, I don't know, now they want privacy, now they want to be respected. It'd be like if a burglar broke into your home and like, well, we were looking for diamonds, but there weren't any, so it doesn't count. Yes, it does. There are still consequences for opening that etheric door. So, what don't they want to be seen? What's the gripe with your intuition? And this could even just be somebody who's like cyberstalking you and they don't want you to find out. Maybe it's gone even further than that. If you're in some sort of like custody battle, legal case, looking into you when it's inappropriate. Blue avians. Philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. It's an interesting looking creature, like an owl person. Kind of makes me think of Lilith. Blue avians. Not wanting you to release yourself from some karma. Let's see. What about this philosophy? That could be just reclaiming a philosophy that you'd set on the shelf. Like if you've gone through an individuation process and you're getting back in touch with your own core values, something like that. Maybe somebody doesn't want you to do that, because then you wouldn't be able to break off of a oppressive system, overbearing system. It's just like not wanting the black sheep to go their own way. Like, well, you don't seem to like me when I'm here either, so I'm just going to take my chances out in the wild, like Lilith did. So what about this blue avian? It reminds me of jets. Like military jets. South node? Okay, karma. And the nodes are about to switch. There's a lot of celestial movement right about now. Because the nodes are going to switch. Mercury comes out of the microwave and Saturn goes in. And there's that Barbo's basket that I think is waning now. And a, was it half moon in Scorpio? But this initiation, this could also be referencing your just individuation process. Because you review things like karma, things in your past, your personal philosophy, your values, And mysticism, that could even represent changing the way you identify in your faith. You know, like I talked about going from atheist to omnist, and the bridge in between that was a near-death experience. So that was a lot. And maybe you went through something similar, some big personal change that somebody hasn't been invited to for one reason or another, or you've actively set boundaries with them and they're trying to pry past those boundaries. So what else about this? Four of Pentacles. Yeah, that's control. Somebody trying to control something. They hoarded secrets. The question is, why? Sci-Fi Tarot. So, hoarding secrets. Something to do with your intuition. And people with sharp intuitions are pretty good at pattern recognition. So maybe this is like a general worry of maybe something has been hidden from you, some sort of secret, and they don't want you figuring it out. Grow a spine and cop up to what you did. It's like, make your choices. Do you want them to figure it out? Or do you want to grow a pair and just admit and take some accountability? Because there's choices on the board, and if you don't make one, one will be made for you. It's like people who have done you wrong enough. Hi, hello. Did you find the sky reason? But people will have done something wrong enough that they were able to maintain secrets for however long, and then act completely helpless when it comes to the accountability point, where it's like, well, I didn't know what to do. Own up. Own up to what you did, or don't. Like, it's, things will be seen. That's what I'm gathering from just the theme of this. Hello. They evaded your pursuits. So what about this Four of Pentacles? What's the secret about? Nope. Want one to flip. This is usually a pretty flippy deck. Being precise, maybe? Nope. Don't want that secret to be told. We'll figure it out. Here we go. The Empress in reverse. Taking versus receiving. The Mother of Invention, a stimulating scientific adventure. And it always reminds me of those, like, burger restaurants that have all the random stuff. They usually have really good burgers, too. It's like the dive bars. Control, taking something, and the Empress, I mean, that could be finances. Something Venusian, Taurus. And I did mention legal battle, so maybe it's like something was hidden in a divorce, something like that. Something that was supposed to be given was taken. I mean, I can understand why someone would not want that to be seen, but it's like, do you just want to step up and just deal with it, or be dealt with? Like, pick one. Or one will be picked. So what about this Empress? What was taken? What was taken by this Empress in reverse? It's very specific. There we go. Two of Swords. Actually, I want to see. Those other three are. Two of Swords, King of Swords, and then, what is this one? Is this a 7? No, 8 of Swords. Sword, sword, swords. A lot of mental. So that's interesting. Very earthen at first, and then mental. So something that would have removed an obstacle. And then King of Swords, the smartest man on any planet. And then exiled, left for dead in the barren mountains of Beetlejuice Prime. It's spelled weird. So maybe blocked an obstacle to some sort of opportunity to become the King of Swords, whatever that means for you. I know that can represent like a lawyer or a judge or some sort of like intellectual pursuit. Writing, maybe? The mind? But it's like the more technical side of creativity. But I'm also inclined to think it was a job. Because Pentacles, Earth, to Swords, Air. Like maybe you do something technical for work, and now you're stuck in place because you didn't get an opportunity. And depending on what the context is for what happened, yeah, they'd probably want to keep that a secret because there are consequences to that. But it's like the truth will set you free. It's a loaded phrase, like, with all due respect. Kind of context dependent. So what was this path forward that was taken? Or obstructed in some way. I don't know, I hear in Tarot land a lot of like what's yours will never pass you by. It might not be the exact same thing though, because if it was a material resource, Four of Pentacles, something like that, oh, and my throat just got tight, so maybe it was something like money, something like that. But if it was some sort of material resource, it could have been used up completely. That doesn't mean it won't be made right. It might not be coming from the exact same source, though. So, Taotians? Resilient, bold, and sassy. That's the path forward that was obstructed. I feel like this is more of that Aquarian energy. Something about your individual expression was obstructed. Let's see. What about that? Tell me more. I'm looking at the ships in the background, and it's hard to tell, like, are they coming or are they going? They're kind of tilted this way, so they might be incoming. But that was obstructed. There's a bridge. So it's like a path. But that's, yeah, the path that was obstructed. The Two of Swords. But definitely that bold, sassy energy. Fifth house. Didn't quite mean to do that, but... So fifth house. Passion. I think that's also... Well, let me see. I have it written down. Romance, self-expression, play, creativity. Something about your self-expression? Just not quite understanding. That was blocked? Or you like shadow banned? Something like that? Doing something to interfere with some sort of creative expression of yours? Maybe if you paint, if you were trying to open like an art gallery or something, some trying to interfere with that in some way. Like I've heard all sorts of stories about just others trying to screw up somebody else's life and mess with their money particularly, but it'd be like leaving bad reviews or calling to cancel as you, like calling to cancel the gallery rental or what have you for the show, pretending to be you. And there's not a lot of verification that goes into stuff like that. Like you just call over the phone, you can just pretend to be somebody. Especially now with AI, not that it would matter, like not that anybody would know you well enough to know the sound of your voice, but it's so easy to just imitate people and then where's the protections for that? Like, sure, yeah, a year's however many long court battle, but what do you do in the interim? What do you do if they've hampered your income? Where's the immediate relief? And in this economy, having a savings account, that's a privilege. Another reason why I'm in support of UBI, because then there would actually be a safety net for people to be caught by when people who do very abusive things, who we've got a lot of evidence to support that that exists, like it just keeps happening. So maybe there's somebody in your life, or it could even be just a random stranger. That'd be odd. But just trying to mess with you. Like they just don't like something about your expression. It could be somebody that's got an issue with witchcraft, something like that, and then trying to do the Lord's work by interfering with your income, with your livelihood. Like, remind me of where it said in the Bible to harass people you don't agree with. Or at least, where did Jesus say that? I should be specific. Because I just saw, what's her bucket? Erica Kirk. Just like the dehumanizing language that she was using to describe different demographics and whatnot. Like, where did Jesus say to dehumanize people you don't agree with? And point would probably be lost on that crowd, because that was all done in like a mega church. So, like, you've already kind of lost the plot. So what about this 5th house? And maybe they got, I don't know, offended on being called out by you know something better than them. Like something like that. That you actually have some perspective on a religious text, on, I don't know, a business. Like, say you're doing something like really innovative, Aquarian energy, and they want to prove that your idea isn't good, so they do like artificial suppression, like shadow banning, reporting your page, reporting your business, bad reviews, something like that. And the Magician could be throwing everything at you, something from all 4 suits. The Master of Everything, an exciting adventure at the limits of human comprehension. Is this person obsessed with taking you down? Like, maybe somebody needs to calm down a little bit, and they should not be messing with you at all. But I wonder, are the people around them starting to question their behavior? Because secrets have a way of getting out. And especially if you are, say, particularly talented, just capable, you know, and you're not achieving success no matter what you do, and you're just trapped, questions will start to be asked, like, how can you put in so much work without results on any front? Especially if it's something people know that you're trying to accomplish. And yeah, it's tough out there, you know, in the land of the interwebs. 5 of Cups, maybe causing some strife, some grief. A disaster aboard the space cruiser Sigma, but is all hope lost? There is always more to the story. So maybe you have an inkling that there's something artificial going on. Like, it's not just an organic, it's tough to break into the algorithm, you know? And what does it take, like 2 to 5 years for a business to get started? And if it's creative, I'm sure it's going to be on the longer side. You know, those are the first expenses usually to go. And an interesting representation of the 5 of Cups, because it's usually 3 knocked over and 2 upright, but in this imagery, it's 3 skeletons and 2 women who are trapped in tubes. Ew. I just got like human moving about from that, because it's like the bank tubes back in the day when you used to actually physically go to a bank. But you'd, you know, deposit a check in the little like tube thingy, and it like shoop. It's like the best part. But something, there's always more to the story. It's like there's another layer. Because maybe this is something like whatever the superficial issue is, like messing with your business or something, that could be something to admit to. But whatever's going on behind it, It's like worse. Or maybe they've got something going on in the background and it's like a proximity. Like, because you were messed with, now you are actually addressing what is going on with your business, but now it's calling into question other things, you know? So what about this Five of Cups? And that could irritate somebody about your intuition. Like, it's giving Scooby-Doo. Like, and I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Like, well, you meddled with me. What'd you expect? I mean, clearly to try and get away with it. Emperor in reverse. Both the Empress and the Emperor are in reverse. That's not great, actually. Because the Emperor, that'd be like who you're counting on to address this. And they're also part of the Scooby-Doo club that were found out by Scooby-Doo and pals. A power like unto a god. Somebody got a god complex. They think they can do whatever they want to other people. And just nothing will happen. Somebody get too big for their britches? Maybe. An abuse of power? Are there like layers to this? Like hierarchical layers? Because if you are denied some sort of opportunity to go forward, and it says they hoarded secrets, implying a group. And I mean, any like sci-fi scenario, anything like that, you know, Sci-Fi Tarot, other people would know about some sort of mission that somebody was on. You know, it says exiled, left for dead in the barren mountains of Betelgeuse Prime. So it's like doing something cocky and stupid when there was like records. Because I've mentioned a bank, and there would be like, I don't know, ship logs or mission logs, whatever. And the Emperor and the Empress, there's gonna be ledgers of goings abouts of the kingdom. Oh, and painting too. Something is not only seen by your intuition, it's also, there's a paper trail. Paper trail to what? Where's this paper trail go? Nope. Maybe you need to watch some Scooby-Doo. You know, some little like Saturday morning cartoons, something like that. Do a little inner child work. Ebbins, mystery, reading in between the lines, and intuition. Some more emphasis on intuition. And look at that noggin. It's a lot of brain power. And it's giving like dark sun. So that looks like the planetary symbol for the sun, but it's dark. And it's not, like, there's some whimsy in this too. They're not pure brain power. This looks like a handmade little pencil holder. And then they have the teddy bear. Some more of the inner child. So not getting too caught up in the puzzle, or a creative approach to whatever the paper trail is. Unconventional. innovative Aquarian. So what about that? Be creative how? Or creative regarding what? It's got that, like, it just flew out of my hand. It's got that, like, technical creativity to it. There's, like, a ruler and... yeah. Conjunction? Alliance? What degrees are that? Let me see. 51. Within 8 degrees. Oh, and this is card 8 too, the evens. Anytime two celestial bodies conjunct, meaning they dance close together, they first work together and blend meaning and purpose, then begin a new cycle of their relationship. The sun and moon conjunct at the new moon, but because the sun is overpoweringly huge, it has special rules. Planets are so tiny compared to the sun that when they are close, within 8 degrees of the sun, they seem to disappear, or combust, and lose individual power. But when planets exactly conjunct the sun, their strength merges and grows within the heart of the sun. Interesting. That shirt that they're wearing. The conjunction tells us we are stronger when we work together, as long as we don't disappear into another's flame. Maybe you need complementary energies to figure out the paper trail. Like you need... I'm kind of thinking of the show Bones and Booth. And he was the more emotional one, and she was very technical, logical, rational. But then, like, as things progressed, they became more of themselves through each other. Like, not enmeshment, losing each other, losing themselves in each other, but being able to see things through a new perspective. And like when people think about technical pursuits and such, you know, very swords, forget about how creative technical people can be. So what about this alliance? Seven of Wands in reverse. Oh, maybe that's referencing the not wanting to lose yourself. Someone wants you to give up your position. Cornered by a slithering horde on the eon-old plains of Narthon. Does she have a secret weapon? Man, and those guys are staring her down. Jeez. Unblinking, unsettling. Does she have a secret weapon? Maybe that's what they're trying to find out about you. To see if you have a secret weapon as part of this. And if you do, just keep it to yourself. Keep it a secret until it needs to be used. Don't be the James Bond villain and announce your plans. They can be reviewed in retrospect after they're successful and nobody sees them coming. The Star in reverse. The Woman of the Cosmos, a journey into the realms of fertility and intuition. So lots of emphasis on intuition, but that, it's like trying to do something to get I don't know, you to stop sharpening your intuition or to interfere with your intuition. Cool card. I almost have the full set. I've got the Pulp Tarot and the Sci-Fi Tarot, but I don't have the Horror Tarot yet. I have some horror-themed ones, just not this one. Star in reverse. Because that could be your relationship to spirit or source or self, like however you look at things. Wanting you to give that up. Maybe be. Could be because it sharpens your pattern recognition and they're doing something secretive that is of detriment to you in some way. And maybe they're just being envious and cruel and they don't want to be seen for who they truly are. Like they don't want their mask off, that they're so in your business that maybe they're not even paying attention to what's going on in their own life. Like maybe there are things in their own life that need to be addressed and they're paying attention to you instead. And not even coming forward about what they've done. They're just all up in your business and they don't even have the spine to admit what they did. But they can watch you, they can interfere with their business. Like if you're doing something online. You just can't put it past people. I don't know why people don't mind their business. It's like one of my favorite things to do is minding my own business. 10 of Cups. Because it leads to great happiness and peace. Family, home, and happiness. The wave of the future. Minding your business. Try it. It's good for you. And you can't control what other people do. I think don't try and go down their path and get caught up in their methodology of trying to make other people do things you clearly don't want to do. Or invite them into areas of their life that you haven't invited them and they're trying to like shoulder their way in. Like, do you think that's just going to get you welcomed with open arms? Not minding your business? Not staying in your lane? No. But you can mind your own business. Because see how they're domed in? Like the Jetsons? There's a lot of cartoon references. Maybe you need some cartoons and cereal. And that can be for dinner too. If you just can't be bothered and it is so freaking hot. Nice cold dinner. But you can put your barriers up. Live your life. Don't know what this little dome is made out of, but maybe it'll repel anything that they might be throwing your way. And you'd think if enough things are bouncing off of this little dome back at them, you'd think they'd stop. Because like you're the one that's sending that stuff out. It wouldn't be coming back to you if you weren't sending it out in the first place. But just the vibe I'm getting, this is not the type of personality that is known to take accountability. It's like the kangaroo court. Got to prove, like we've already come to the conclusion that you, the Aquarian, you're strange, which, what's the problem? I like strange people. I like the weirdos. Some people don't though. So they've taken issue with it and maybe said terrible things, done something, taken something they shouldn't have taken, and now are playing catch up to try and make this true. Whatever they've said about you. And maybe you're just in your little dome car, not feeding the narrative. And that doesn't mean, like, I'm not using the let them, because if somebody's lobbing things at you, like, don't just let them do that to you. It's more of having confidence that the long game here is that this behavior will be seen, whatever it is. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be active effort on your part. Yes, I hear you, my dear. She's ready for chicken. So what will help you go forward on maybe this bridge and just tune this out as best you can, because that might be difficult. And I know I've been seeing a lot recently, well, infographics and stuff reminding people that when women hold stuff in, we get autoimmune diseases. So let it rip. I vent to myself all the time, because the seizures that I have, they're worsened by me bottling things up. And so I have to get it out, and sometimes I have to get it out, like, right now. So if you need to, just, like, toss on some death metal or something and just let it out. Especially if it's in the middle of the day. Whatever, you could be on the phone. Who cares? Arcturians. Feeling safe, wisdom keepers, and concern. And they've kind of got a dome around them that they're pushing out. At least that's what it looks like they're doing with their hands. Like they're projecting it. But there's still someone there with them. So it's like maintaining your space, but still connecting. Accepting your weirdness. Because people might think it's weird that I vent to myself. Cool. I care a lot more about not having a seizure than what you think of me. I gotta do what I gotta do. And I'm really, like, pressed when somebody who hasn't gone through maybe anything even remotely similar is like, well, you should do it different. Or I shouldn't do it that way. Why? Why not? Like, what should I do then? And then there's just no answer because they haven't gone through it. Because it looks like a person that's sitting having coffee with them. So a shared love of something, but still holding on to your differences. And they look happy. They don't look upset. It's just, I am different than you. And we both like coffee. Cool. I don't know why people can't manage that that kind of attitude. I have a very Anthony Bourdain philosophy when it comes to, especially people I don't agree with. Like, if we can have a respectful and curious conversation, and depending on what's going on, productive. Like, I can have that conversation and be aware of our differences. If they're too major of differences, like not treating people like people, I'm just not gonna sit at that table. I'm not gonna invite that person to my table. I'm also not gonna go out of my way to mess with what they're doing. It's like, live and let live, dude. But I guess that's hard. Too hard for people to live and let live. And I don't know why. But what about these Arcturians? Letting your freak flag fly. A lot of threes. So I said something with 3 S's over here. 3 F's. That card says 33 too. What about the Arcturians? Feeling safe, wisdom keepers, concern. Oh, and that's upside down. This is all upright. 7th house, relationships. Maybe you're practicing celibacy right now. And maybe that's one of those things that people don't get. I feel like, I don't know what the experience is for guys, but for women, a lot of us around middle age go through a period of celibacy. And I think it has a lot to do with that individuation process. Because I know life has come at me pretty intensely these past, 6 years. The last thing on my mind has been getting into a relationship. And I don't know, every time I explore that idea, I'll think about it, and then I'm like, nah, I've got so much on my plate, and it's just, I'm such a go with the flow kind of person. I'm not really interested in dating until I'm interested in someone. I don't like the process itself until I like someone. Then I like it. What about this 7th house? So maybe you want to look at that area of your chart. Something in there specifically that maybe you don't want to get involved in right now. And that's something people could find strange. Maybe that's this shield in between you and people. Want to get to know each other on a mental and emotional level before anything else. And it just depends on what you're looking for. And that could be part of this evaluation. Because maybe the way you were going about it wasn't yielding the results that you want. People try to give arbitrary timelines and things like that. Well, wait this long before you have a sleepover and whatnot. What if you've known this person for a long time and all of a sudden, an attraction develops between you two? Why would you apply an arbitrary timeline onto that? For a brand new person, yeah, I think a waiting period is a good idea. But if you've got a history with them, whatever. So just making sure that your methods are in line with your goals, what you're trying to achieve. And that could vary person to person depending on the context, Ace of Swords. Oh, a sideways card. Interesting. And 9 of Swords. The swords are going to come out together. And her breeches make it look like her pants are down, but she's got little shorts on under there. But the Ace of Swords, I guess it's kind of arbitrary if that's upright or not. I mean, I'm an English speaker, so I'm thinking of turning it to the left. So that's upright. An intellectual gift, guaranteed non-toxic. But then 9 of Swords. This is the Nightmare card. Nightmare in space. Sudden terror aboard an intergalactic cruiser. Is this, I don't know, somebody who's saying all the right things? Like a love bomber. Just to get what they want and then bail. And if someone isn't telling the truth because they know the truth, they would be met with a no. You wouldn't have a sleepover with them. That's sexual coercion. That's not okay. And there's no two ways around that. That's like one of those memes that you'll see. It's like I explained the concept of consent to one of my guy friends, and he's like, well, if that's what consent means, then every man I know is an essayist. You're so close to getting it. So close. And it's important to have open and honest conversations about what you are and aren't okay with. And in no way, shape, or form is silence consent. That's, people get hung up on like, well, did she say no? Well, was she like, were her arms crossed and was she shivering in the corner? Like, body language. That's also a thing. It's not just words. It's not like a legal contract that, like, you must state this way, or it wasn't, like, clearly disclosed or whatever. Like, if you can see their body language, that counts too. And there's no cop-outs of, like, well, I'm not good at reading body language. Sounds like you're not ready to date. Just saying, like, you don't get to put that on other people. But maybe it's some sort of excuses like that. Like this is the sideways truth, you know? Can't really tell. Is this upright? Is it reverse? I don't know. Some sort of unclear signals that is like a betrayal to you. But your boundaries, that can help make you more resistant to love bombers, scammers, people who are enormously selfish and see other people as something to conquer as opposed to someone to respect. So what about this Nine of Swords? So maybe they don't want to be seen as like a misogynist or something? Cool, stop doing misogynistic things. Figure it out. I'm just so over this. Like, why do we have to coddle grown men on treating women like people? Oh, right, because we keep getting murdered every 10 minutes. Yeah. It's that part. And we've got Eight of Cups and Page of Swords in reverse. So leaving... Oh, is somebody trying to spy on where you're leaving? Or where you're going? There's more of these tubes with people in them. And it says escape. Escape. A lot of kid stuff. Finding Nemo. Escaping galactic law means a midnight of the soul for Captain Lenerva Lacey. And then Page of Swords. Man, this text is tiny. Venture forth. Dreams could not contain her ambition, her strength, or her curiosity. A lifetime of thrills awaits. She's like about to swing into that opening, but are you like trying to make a break from a person? Like escape someone? Literally? Ugh, that's tough. And I did mention sexual coercion. There's also reproductive coercion. That's a thing that people would do to keep others in a relationship, like baby traps and stuff. And that can be on either side of the fence. I consider myself very privileged that I was able to get my tubes removed out of my body and into the trash where they belong, because I know I don't want kids. I don't know. I feel like that gives me the freedom to not have a choice made for me. As grim as that may sound. But some people will get on you about that decision, really stick their nose where it doesn't belong. And just going to give a trigger warning. Speaking to other people who also have PTSD, it's your choice. It doesn't matter if you're making that choice because you were traumatized. That's a perfectly valid reason. Because it's just your tubes. They leave your ovaries there. If that makes you feel more secure, if that makes you feel comfortable, even just getting back into the dating scene, because what a horrendous betrayal that is, to have something so beautiful and so intimate taken into ugliness and violence. You do whatever you need to do to bring that beauty back into your life, if that's something that you want. And if not, that's cool too. It's nobody else's business but your own. And nobody gets to pry into that. Into, oh, you're gonna be a spinster cat lady. Cool, I'm gonna save all the cats. That's my life purpose, and I'm gonna open a cat cafe and help them get adopted. I think that's a wonderful thing to do, if that's what you want to do. It's not an insult. But people will go way beyond where their nose belongs. And if you have to separate yourself from anyone, family, friends, lovers, whomever, because they just won't stay out of your business, or they're trying to cross your boundaries, whatever boundary it is, for whatever reason, you make your escape in the middle of the night if you have to. They can have their feelings about it, because they were the ones that pushed you out the door. And people, again, can't say it enough, don't know how to mind their business. Billiards. Maybe you want to play some pool? And that's one of those, that can be a solo, that can be a shared activity, you know, kind of like with the shield up. And where was the Empress card? Those dive bars with the good burgers, they might have a good pool table too, you know. And it doesn't even need to be a date with somebody. It can be a friend date, platonic date, a date with yourself. I wanted a song too. Middle of the night. And I keep meaning to redo this card. Loveless is I really like the cover of that. So maybe you want to bring, I don't know if the music boxes, if they do coins or not anymore. But just something low key. And could be, again, by yourself, with somebody else. And any boundaries around that, that's fine. You don't even need to tell someone. There might be an urge to explain yourself, you know, like I'm in trauma recovery and whatnot, then I want to take it easy. You don't have to explain yourself. You can just, I want to take things slow. That's it. And any resistance to that, any huffiness trying to negotiate your boundaries with you, Maya Angelou, when people show you their true colors, believe them. So overall, I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.